Hundreds of college students have problems picking their majors every year. But this particular dilemma is very much more serious for low-income students. Low-income students have a tougher time choosing their majors for a multitude of factors. Some of these students enter college with the hope of their entire communities on their shoulders. These students' choice of professions are limited because they must choose a field that guarantees economic prosperity. At times, these students become professional prisoners. I use this term to define low-income students who are very limited in their choices and must choose professions in the STEM, business, or other fields that ensure economic prosperity. Focusing only on jobs that ensure financial stability, these students are often restricted and find themselves declaring majors that they don't truly find interesting. This catch-22 is further complicated when students who commit to majors like economics or business because they need the financial security end up working for capitalistic hegemonies that keep our communities oppressed. These professional prisoners have a tough time navigating spaces because they feel as though their choices are limited. This podcast seeks to shine light on this dilemma by focusing on two stories of my friends and finding out why they chose to pursue majors in economics and business. To understand how students can feel prisoners to a profession, we must observe the circumstances and factors of the students' lives before college.
My name is Richard Antwi. I am 18 years old, and the college that I currently attend is the University of Wisconsin-Madison.
Hello, my name is Modibo Sai. I am 18 years old, and I attend the University at Albany.
Well, my high school was really, I would like to say, there was a lot of low-income students in my high school. I would not say it was diverse because it was just a bunch of Black people, African Americans, and also a lot of Hispanics.
I'm gonna say there was probably like a handful of like middle class kids, where like more than 90% of the kids was low income students who came from urban areas like East Harlem, South Bronx. Staff, it was not really multiracial. Majority of the teachers were white, and it was only like a handful of Black people, like Black teachers. Well, the owners of the school was completely white. Like, I didn't really see any Black owners of the school. Every year, a lot of teachers left, and even like leadership-wise, we done had like 4 to 5 principals within my 4 years of high school. So, a lot of the leadership in my school with the teachers, principals gave up on us. Well, it's just like what it meant for me with these teachers from Teach for America is like they want to sound like they want to help us, but when they got to know us, like they already gave up. Well, my area, I live next to a lot of projects, so like the kids that's out there is like cutting school, doing drugs, and just like not taking their school seriously. Like even some of my closest friends, like from middle school to now, a lot of them didn't graduate on time. Most of us was in the same class group. And like out of all of them, I'm the only one who went to further my career in college. Like I didn't have friends who went to college, but like after like first semester they dropped out. And so it's pretty tough to grow up around here because people can be easily influenced to doing the wrong things. For me, I don't want to live in this kind of situation no more.
Coming from underdeveloped schools, both Modibo and Richard felt unprepared for college. This sentiment is shared amongst most FLY students. Additionally, when the norm in one's community is to drop out of school, FLY students that do make it to college feel immense gratitude. These students were the lucky boys and girls who were able to make it out of the hood. By becoming that caricature, These students take on the mentality that they must choose a major or profession that makes money in order to fully utilize college to achieve social mobility.
Currently, I'm a pre-business student. My college, we have to apply for the business school after our freshman year, but I want to major in marketing and management.
Well, I'm an economics major in college. So in the future, I'm hoping to become an aspiring investment banker at a high firm such as like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Citigroup. If economics um field didn't make a lot of money, would I be an economics major? No. Just due to the fact I come from a background where my family's low income and I'm trying to do whatever it is in the future that makes a lot of money. I'm trying to do that.
That's why I chose business, because I want to be really successful to obviously help my family. So money is really a big thing for me. And as a low income student, parents also instill in you to make more money than them. My mom told me to make more money than her because she just want me to be successful and not have the same burdens that she had or limitations that she had to go through. So that is really a big thing.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Like, yeah, definitely. Like the way my parents would say, they tell me like, make sure you focus in school, make sure you get good grades, cause I don't want you going through the same situations I'm going through. So when I think of that, I just like, yeah, I want to find a field that's very lucrative, so I can be able to provide better for my family. Who wouldn't want to be in the best of the best, where you can find a high paying job coming out of college? It's like with more money, it reduces a lot of problems.
Making money all the time do make me happy. I mean, it shows that I'm independent, and I don't have to depend on my mom all the time. And yeah, that's really a goal of mine, to end up being successful and being able to take care of others other than having to beg money from my mom. If I left, if I entered college low income and I left college low income again, yes, I'll feel like I did not fulfill what I needed to fulfill in like my life or as a son to my mother. It will make me feel that I did not accomplish what I needed to accomplish in college, and everyone in my family is counting on me to be successful or to have a better life than they had.
Being poor is like it's a struggle, man. Like nobody want to go through this. Like being poor, you struggle to try to do everything you need to do. Being rich, it'll happen quickly. In the snap of a finger, you won't even think twice about it. So, yes, any day I'll be a rich man. It's like, who wouldn't want to be a rich man any day? Who would want to be poor?
Watching the clip from the Wolf on Wall Street, I felt like I related to that. Yeah, definitely growing up low income, you want to achieve getting as much money as possible or getting a really successful career to not forget, but not live in the low income place that you used to live in. Um, he talked a lot about there's in no nobility in being poor, and that's what everybody low income is trying to work towards, and that's what I'm trying to work towards. I don't want to have a low income family. I want to be successful and eventually give back because I know I'm that successful.
Well aware that the main motivation for their majors was heavily influenced by their lack of financial security, both boys acknowledged that their professions needed to catapult them into higher socioeconomic classes. After watching a clip from The Wolf of Wall Street, both boys also agreed that there was no nobility in poverty, But what happens when your intended major doesn't make you happy? Most low-income students lack the agency to change their career paths. Richard had a similar experience when interning.
So professions that my mom finds are really successful, and what she wanted me to be at first was a scientist, a doctor, obviously, and or a lawyer, and a lawyer too. She just felt it's just something that makes a lot of money. It's not even about skill. It just makes a lot of money. So I went to this internship my first summer before college, and I was interning at Marshall McLennan Companies, which is a consultant, but also it has different parts of it: real estate, GSP, which is Global Services Products. In this internship, I quickly found out real estate and global services was not something that I found it interesting. Yeah, I didn't find that interesting at all, and that made it really hard for me to intern at it. But making money at the same time, good money, made it worthwhile. I like to say, it's the racial side of my company. I did not see one black person at all. The only black person I saw was the security guard I said hi to every morning. That let me in and through the elevator. In the elevator, yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
Even after having an epiphany about their majors, fly students still feel like they cannot change because the potential pay is too good. Richard stuck out his internship because the pay was amazing, and that reason seemed as good as any. Then, the question becomes, could fly students endure the hardships of the financial mecca that is Wall Street? The boys were asked to read Karen Ho's Introduction to Liquidation in order to learn more about Wall Street's culture and to remark on how they felt after the readings.
Well, my thoughts on the Karen Ho article is that these high companies such as Goldman Sachs, they seek students from elite institutions such as Harvard and Princeton. And what's not fair about it is like they don't care what career aspects the students have. Students can graduate with sociology degrees. They can graduate with creative writing degrees. But such a company like Goldman Sachs, they don't care. They just care that they're coming from a high elite institution, which will look better on their side, which will look like, oh, they're recruiting the best of the best. They're recruiting the top-notch students of the country. And it's just showing good statistics for the company, as in, oh, they got these kids who've been working hard their whole life to get to where they're at now. But in all honesty, they're just getting these students, they're using these students just for the institutions they come from. And what I feel like is unfair about it, because there could be a student like me who come from the University of Albany, not so high prestigious, but a good academic institution, who can be working as hard or even harder than a student at Harvard and Princeton, but can be so difficult for us to get an internship or possible potential job at Goldman Sachs, just due to the fact our school name plays a big role.
I feel Wall Street, it could be a place for me, but being that Wall Street is, well, from the article, that Wall Street looks for quote-unquote smartest people to work for them, and also the racial divide there, I feel like, but also, I also feel like it can't be the place for me, but I want to integrate myself into it and try to change the culture, but also just excel at it.
I'm trying to get a job that's very lucrative. But it opened my mind to see how they're not really looking for diversity. They feel like if they just get a handful of colored people, they feel like that's fine. They feel like they accomplish a milestone, which is not fair. And it's like, it's my role for me if I do get into that field to help bring the knowledge down to the younger ones so they can be aware of what they're getting themselves into and getting themselves not to change who they are because they're in that kind of system. Absolutely, I'm scared if I join Wall Street, it change my values. It can change you as a person. Money changes a lot of people, to be honest. Especially for an urban kid like me. I'm coming from a low income family. If I join a field where I'm around a lot of people who's making a lot of money, that can possibly change me due to the fact like, oh, I see that I'm set. I see that I'm set. Why do I have to care about anybody else? I'm doing good for myself, which is kind of selfish because always remember where you come from and always remember how you grew up, and that's important to me. So that's the goal for me.
I feel like Wall Street, obviously, working there for a long time, it will change you, but change you in terms of like not valuing your morals anymore. I don't think it will change me in that fact. Also, we fall into this trap where we want to work in this place, but the environment isn't for us. The people on Wall Street, I feel like, yeah, they definitely hurt us low income families because while this whole country is built on capitalism,
Definitely, this system exploits low income people. We struggle, man. We struggle to pay rent. We struggle to put clothes on our back. We struggle with food. Like, they don't know what's the precautions of being poor and being black is. Like, that's why they don't really care about it. It like I was saying earlier, like it's all about looking good. It's all about helping the needy. But behind scenes is like the same asshole they are. You feel me?
I do not believe I can become that oppressor, but I know there's going to be changes of opinion that will try to change my beliefs.
If a company in Wall Street tries to change my values, tries to change who I am, tries to make me go with my tongue, just so they can do what they want to do, I'm not gonna let that happen because I'm not gonna allow them to control me. I'm not gonna allow them to change who I am, to change my values just so they can do what they want to do by just trying to give me a promotion. Because at the end of the day, I gotta remember where I come from, what people go through around where I am.
If you could be a part of the 1%, would you?
I would be a part of the 1% because that was the whole mission, to trying to build wealth.
If I'm to make it to 1%, I feel that I will give back to charity, but at the same time, I would want to enjoy what I've worked so hard to become. Um, I think charity is a good thing, but also it's I feel it's a tool.
I'm well aware that I need to exploit low income people that I once was, but what I'm gonna do in my power is when I get to that point, when I become a part of that 1%, I'm gonna give back. Definitely. Definitely. I'm doing it so I can be able to give back to those kids who don't have good opportunities and succeed in life. I want to see other people do good.
I feel like me being in Wall Street will serve as an inspiration for low income students. Low income students always look for the people who are successful. That's why they look towards basketball, rap, any type of sport, because they know that's where the most money is. But integrating yourself into business is another level of respect in itself. And me being in business, being in Wall Street in general, is a respect that low income students will have for me and will find as inspiration.
While recognizing the oppressive practices of Wall Street, while recognizing that Wall Street's existence exploits the poor, while recognizing the homogeneous hegemony that Wall Street sustains. Modibo and Richards still intend to work there. Behaving in a Jesus-like manner, the boys intend to limit their choices, sacrifice themselves, and deal with the whiteness and elitism of Wall Street in order to be inspirations for the youth. They will endure the difficulties that come with Wall Street in order to accumulate wealth and donate it back to their communities. Their simple presence is a form of resistance to a system that rebukes them, and they are dedicated to not conforming to Wall Street's culture. That being said, it's easy to sacrifice yourself to a system that makes you rich. Fly students like Richard and Modibo seek to become examples of the American dream and inspire other low-income students to do the same. Rather than changing the system that kept them poor, they seek to climb its ladder and spread its wealth. Slavoj Zizek believes that this construct of charity and philanthropy is wrong and continues to keep alive a capitalist system that constantly changes and adjusts itself. Ronald Bailey similarly believes that even if one adds black and fly students to the 1%, the system will still continue to exploit the poor. When our professional prisoners operate in the confines of a broken system, then progress is hardly made. Our professional prisoners who ascend into higher classes must remember their roots and not let the capitalist ideals leave them complacent. Thank you for tuning into this podcast, and I hope you learn more about the dilemma of the professional prisoners all across the country who aspire to be nothing but change makers.